Hello. I am Cassie Brown, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the Amplify My Impact podcast. After years of consulting and managing programs for some of the top entrepreneurs, CEOs, and marketers in the industry, I am on a mission to expand our contribution, to grow, scale, and create more so we can do and give more. This podcast celebrates entrepreneurs who are boldly stepping up to own their calling, expand their influence, and stretch outside their comfort zone, who've decided to stop playing it small, pick up the mantle of contribution, and serve at a higher level, to lead by example and light the way for others. If that's you, then get ready to amplify. There's a fire that burns inside your soul, and we're going to ignite it into a roaring blaze of unstoppable momentum. Hello and welcome back to Amplify My Impact. Today we're diving into one of my all-time favorite subjects, and that is serving. But we're also pairing it with the necessity to make income, right? We have bills to pay, we have a mortgage to pay. For those of us who are parents, Lord have mercy, our kids are ranging from 5, 9, 12, and 14. The 5-year-old is absolutely growing like a weed, and our 14-year-old, he is entering 9th grade next year, and holy smokes, eats a ton, right? So here's the big question. Why free content? And that's what we're going to be navigating today, is not only the power of free content, but how free content is actually going to increase your revenue, and what everyone ultimately needs in their business to stay healthy and positive cash flow is how to shift that content into making money. And I really want you to realize that it goes much, much deeper than just simply the law of reciprocity. And if this is the first time you've heard of the law of reciprocity, let me sort of give you a top level overview. It's a social psychology term, and it's officially the law of reciprocity, and basically says when someone does something nice for you, you at your core have a deep-rooted psychological pull to do something nice in return, even usually magnified, right? So if someone does something nice to you, you not only want to equal it, you want to pay it forward on a larger scale, right? It's sort of like, okay, that was nice. Let me not only do something nice to you, but I'm gonna level up, and I'm gonna give it forward bigger, and that's great. But if honestly that's the only reason you're doing nice things for people, it's not going to get you very far. There's surface level manipulation, and people are watching, like on social media. For me, people watch consistency. And I think that's the biggest thing that we need to really dive into the details of today, is not only how this free content can transition into dollars, but what is the intention behind the content? What is the quality of the content? And are you 100% authentically showing up to serve your heart out? Because that is what's going to really make the difference between you and everyone else trying to leverage the law of reciprocity. So I want to share a few stories with you today, and just sort of how things have happened in my life that were 100% not the end goal or even on the radar. And the first example that I want to give is when I had entered into the 2 Comma Club coaching program as a student. I was focused on growing my agency. I did not want to be, I joined with the sole purpose of not wanting to be at the same spot in my business 1 year later than I was during that day that the program was offered. I knew I needed to increase the level of people that I was hanging around, and get my own mindset of what was what was possible. There was a ton of reprogramming that had to happen. And I'm really, really thankful, even though it was super scary as heck, that I was willing to take that leap. And it brought so many incredible people into my life and taught me how to leverage mindset. And it's changed my business. But I showed up to that community to serve. Because at that point in time, that is what I was good at. So I totally led with everything that I had, laid it all on the table. Because when you talk about imposter syndrome and self-worth evaluation and positive self-talk, like I didn't really value my expertise. Like I couldn't even put my finger on my expertise. Like there were some things that I was doing and learning in my agency that was getting good results. But I had that mentality, like I'm learning, I haven't earned it. Right. So I just showed up to serve, and I started serving the community, and it got to the point where I had served so much that when the next year came around, it had been noticed by the community leaders and even my mentor Jorge, and the VP of coaching, Brent Copeters. Apparently there was a list and they invited me to be a coach, which honestly you could have knocked me over with a feather, because that was not ever my intention or goal. And I fought it tooth and nail. I'll never forget when they were setting up all of our internal communication systems, and the title coach was in my email address. So my first line of defense was, I took it to Jorge. I'm like, can I just be plain Cassie at clickfunnels.com? I don't really need coach in front of my name. It feels pretentious. It was one of those things, like I really struggled with the title and taking ownership of that identity. And Jorge was like, no, you can do it. So then I went to the director of coaching, Sarah, and made my case with her. I was like, I really don't need a coach in the title. I want to be approachable. I don't want there to be a title that separates me. I just want to be me, and I want to serve in the same capacity. Same answer, no. And then I took the email to Brent and made my case. And he's like, no, we're streamlining the coaches and we want you to have that title and all of that good stuff. So like 3 rejections, I finally accepted it. And then when I got my roster, one of the new members had sent me a message and right out of the gate said, hey, coach, excited to work with you. And that changed everything. So I wanted to share that story because that opportunity of just showing up to serve, adding value, created an opportunity and an open door that I never even knew existed. And that was just through publishing, adding value, meeting people where they are at, and you can do the same. So for me, that's just part of my core of what I do with being able to consistently show up, teach, add value, leave it all on the table. I think the most beautiful thing that you could do right now, if you're wondering how to separate your content that you publish versus what products and services that you sell, like you'll hear it all day long, share the what, teach the how. But I would also argue, like, show up consistently and give it all you got. Give your best stuff. Lead with your best stuff. Because when they see you showing up consistently and truly pouring it out to create results for someone else, that will get you a lot further than just the surface level law of reciprocity. Just because you created a free ebook or a PDF download that just is like 3 pages, mostly of graphics and maybe a handful of words, does not mean that you've added value or that you've served with all of you got. So I would challenge you to do that today. Like, are you serving with all that you have? I'll give you another example, and this is so truly humbling. Jamie Wolf was one of the coaching members that I worked with last year, and she was creating a book agency and had shared some things that she was struggling with and what her vision was. She wanted to create a collective of 10 people, 10 authors to write a book, but didn't think that she could do it. So I just, in my unstoppable mindset, I was like, well, what are you afraid of? And it was reaching out to people. I'm like, well, I can help you reach out to people. Like, who are you trying to reach? What are you trying to do here? And I said, make a list and let's touch base. If you reach out to them and you still need support, let me know. And she did. She reached out. I encouraged some introductions where I could. And she also invited me to be part of the book and share my story. And I did, and I didn't hold back. It was a very emotional process in sharing the story. But long story short, to keep this podcast to what you guys are used to, we completed the book. 10 of us completed the book. We launched the book in December. Incredible stories, just so humbling and such a great collective. Jamie did such a wonderful job. And not only did it prove to her what she was capable of and what she could put together, but proof of concept for her book agency. But in January, we made it to a #1 Amazon bestseller. Because all of us showed up and we served 100%. 10 of us now have bestseller author in our bios. It's incredible what can happen when you just show up to serve. There's a whole nother level of publishing and free content. It gets you results. It gives people a low barrier to entry to see what you are capable of. And if you lead with your best stuff and you will serve, it will get results. And guess what results turn into? They not only turn into sales, but it also increases your confidence and your clarity and knowing what your lane is. And when you have confidence and clarity, you have more value to give. You have an ascension process. You have additional products that you can create because you've gotten people results and they need the next level. So you've created and increased your value ladder just by creating the content that serves and delivers value and results. So what are you putting out there is what my question is for you. What are you going to lead with when you're creating this free content, right? And how serving, like, with all you have, creates opportunities that you don't even know are waiting for you. So that's what I would challenge you to think about today. What are you holding back with? What are you thinking, I need to keep this in my back pocket? No. Put it out there and declare it and start getting people the results that they need. There's enough people out there that are just adding noise and distraction and blowing smoke and only giving people just a little tease. And that's who we're trying to save. The people who have been burned before and tried something new. I mean, could you imagine if you hadn't had the resiliency to go through all of the BS that you have to get here? There's so many people who give up because they tried something or someone took advantage of them or it wasn't what they promised. If you serve on a bigger level, you're going to be that light that people need to find. So let it shine. All right, that's all I got for you today. I hope you'd enjoyed it. So please join us over at the Amplify My Impact Facebook group. Let us know how you're leading in service, what you're doing to publish that value-driven content that's going to grow your business and increase not only your cash flow, but the long-term impact that you can create with being able to grow and scale a business that gets consistent results. When you deliver value and stay top of mind, people talk. And when people talk and share it on social media, you will have a whole slew of sales reps out there talking about the results that they get just from your free content that translates into customers. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope you've received value, encouragement, and exactly what you need to help keep you in momentum to grow and impact the world around you. Big or small, we all make a difference. Thanks also for subscribing, downloading, and leaving a review. This helps us reach others who need this message in their life. If you know anyone who would benefit from this podcast, please share so you and I can help more people boldly step into purpose. It is my heart's mission to help and encourage others. My internal belief that a rising tide lifts all ships. So much of what we talk about on the podcast is leading with value and building relationships through service. So we've created a collection of resources for you to continue growing, whether you are just getting started or ready to scale your business. Visit amplifymyimpact.com for show notes, downloads, programs, and more information about how to directly work with our team to amplify your impact and change the world.